So, as a doctor, I mean, you're cutting into patients all the time, and I commend you for that because I'm mortified of blood. So, if I just look at blood, mere na, I lose my focus and I'm fainting all over the place. So, that I mean, it's wonderful that you have come back to Pakistan and you are helping your fellow Pakistanis with this wonderful skill that you've developed over the past years. And it's very wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about why it's important for people to get regular checkups when it comes to liver.
Yeah, liver is a very important organ. Probably it's the largest organ of your body. And it is the factory, a metabolic factory of your body. And it has thousands of functions. If one of these functions get disturbed, it is going to disturb you as a whole. So it is very important that you have a healthy liver. And liver diseases are so common. Actually, it's rampant in our country, especially the viral hepatitis like hepatitis A and E, which spread through water, contaminated water or contaminated food, and hepatitis B and C, which spread through blood contaminated products. So they are so common in our country that almost each one of us is at risk of developing these kind of liver diseases.
All the time.
All the time.
So we go to restaurants or we go to a shop, we're at risk,
Yes,
even in our own homes.
Not in your own home, but you are at a risk. And the other thing which is coming into Pakistan now, because we are getting westernized in the recent times, our food is changing now, and fatty liver is something which is coming up, and it's on the rise actually. So waterborne infections, blood-borne infections, and fatty liver. And again, with westernization and modernization, alcohol is coming into our society as well. Although it is not publicly acceptable, but there are a lot of people who drink alcohol and drink it to a harmful level of drinking. So I think these are the things which are very common. So one has to be careful and need to look into that he has a healthy liver.
All right, actually that relates to my next question, जो है कि वो कौन सी activities हैं जो हमारे liver को damage करती हैं?
देखिए आजकल it's a junk food. Majority of the young children and adults, they actually eat junk food. Lack of exercise. These are the two things which make your body's metabolism to disturb to some extent, and that makes your liver getting fatty, and fatty liver is the first step to the liver damage. So you need to have a balanced diet, do regular exercise, keep a check on your weight, and if you're doing all that, your liver should be healthy all the time.
All right. So my next question is that what kind of liver problems are there within the Pakistani society?
I mean, the commonest problem we face is actually the hepatitis. That is, hepatitis means inflammation of the liver. या उर्दू में सोजिश होती है liver की. It can be due to viruses like hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, or it can be due to drugs, harmful drinking, and a lot of other things.
I think medicine is also a cause when you take, for example, brufen or some other like Disprene or Tylenol or something in excess, and unless it's not doctor's prescription, तो फिर आपका liver भी उस तरीके से फिर damage होता है, and it also does problems to your heart. So everything in the human anatomy is just connected to one thing and another. So all right, that's very interesting. But let's talk about how वो कौन से निशान हैं जो हमें नज़र आते हैं in terms of physical appearance that we know that our liver has been damaged or उसके अंदर कोई problem आ चुकी है.
Because liver is a very big organ and it is composed of millions and trillions of cells, and God have given you plenty of liver. Even if your liver is damaged up to 70 to 80%, actually you may not have any symptoms. And in the early stages of any liver illness, if there is some damage going on, you may not have any symptoms. And by and large, the symptoms, the real symptoms which will guide you that somebody has a liver problem actually comes at a very late stage. So in the early phase, actually you may not have any symptoms. But especially these hepatitis viruses, in the early stage you can get a bit of a tiredness, aches and pains, unexplained low-grade fever, loss of appetite, some loss of weight. So these are the non-specific symptoms.
What kind of pain? Just in that specific region, या पूरे जिस्म में pain होती
It
है?
can be specific in the liver. If there is some infection or inflammation going on in the liver, you can get some pain in the upper quadrant of your belly in the
Alright.
beginning. Or it can be generalized aches and pains if it's due to some viruses.
All right. Acha. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to welcome you all to Sundown. And आज के मेहमान बहुत खास है. He is none other than Dr. Faisal Dar, who is the pioneer of liver transplantation in Pakistan. It is a huge privilege for me to be sitting with you and to be learning from you. Again, I'm not a medical professional or I don't have a medical background. So again, everything you're telling me बहुत important है, बहुत relevant है हमारी society से. और he currently works at Quaid Azam International Hospital, or he is the leading liver transplant surgeon in Pakistan. Amazing, just absolutely phenomenal. And Alhamdulillah, say you've completed around 101 living donor transplant surgeries.
It's actually 900.
900, all right, 900 living donor transplant surgeries in Pakistan. And you have a specialized team of one of the best, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, it's not my intention, hematology, right?
It's hepatopancreaticobiliary. Hepatic mean liver,
Yeah.
it's a Greek word.
All right.
Pancreas mean pancreas and biliary mean bile ducts. So that's the system.
All right.
Your liver is connected to your intestine through the bile duct and the pancreas.
All right, okay. Again, that's just, again, we're talking about the human anatomy, so everything is just linked to each other.
Yeah.
And you've had, I think, more than 10,000 patients within the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty amazing, and again, it's a wonderful honor. Let's talk a little bit about hepatitis. आपने बात की थी कि A, B, C, D है, और हमारा soup आ गया है, which is also good for our, I think, immune system as well, because it's super spicy. Mulligatawny soup है, so it's very good. But yes, hepatitis के हम बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो hepatitis A, B, C, D, E. What are the differences and what are the symptoms, maybe, if you want to indulge in that?
Okay, hepatitis A and E, they are very common in our society and they spread through contaminated water or food. And they lead to some kind of a liver damage. And by and large, the liver damage is not severe. It's kind of a self-limiting. The patient will get some aches and pains, a bit of a fever, and in the second week they get some jaundice. And in 2-3 weeks' time, the thing starts settling down, and in about 4 to 6 weeks' time, it should be back to normal. Because whatever the liver is damaged by these viruses, liver has the amazing capacity to regenerate and repair this damage. So I would say 98% of the times with hepatitis A and E, your liver damage will correct
Regenerate.
itself.
Yeah.
And there will be no signs as if you have any liver damage in the due course of time. So these are hepatitis A and E. So they lead to short illness for a short period of time, and majority of the cases, liver recovers back to absolute normality. In 2% of the cases, the liver damage is so severe that the liver fails completely. And in those 2%, you actually need a liver transplant to save the life. We don't have the exact statistics that how many people get hepatitis A and E in our country. The other form of hepatitis is hepatitis B, C, and D. They are a kind of viruses which lead to a low-grade chronic damage to the liver. You might have acquired these infections at some point, and these spread through the blood contaminated products. Either if you have transfused with blood, or you got a contaminated needle, or you got some treatment from a dentist which uses contaminated instruments, and these sort of things. So these are blood-borne infections. So once you got the infection, it remains silent for a good few years, keep on giving your liver a bit of a slow damage, which may not be recognized at that stage.
Thank you.
But over 10 to 15 years, your liver is slowly getting damaged and replaced by a scar tissue. And eventually, after 15-20 years, the liver actually shrinks down, which is called liver cirrhosis. And that stage is not reversible. And that means the liver has been damaged permanently.
Acha. Oh, sorry. I'm a little too excited about the soup right now. Please, aap thoda sa mulligatawny soup le at Tangelo's. It is absolutely phenomenal. Isme basically lemon or black pepper and garlic dalta hai. The ingredients that I personally know.
And it does not damage the liver?
Yeah, it doesn't damage the liver. So it's really good. And there's so many things जो naturally present है. मतलब garlic has, anti-inflammatory properties and pepper just अगर आप शहद के साथ लें तो आपका वो जो coughing, irritable cough होती है वो suppress हो जाती है. तो काफ़ी मुख्तलिफ चीज़ों जो naturally present है, when you take them, they relieve so many of your symptoms and problems. So please आप लें. And हमारी fish भी आ गई है. This is fried fish at Tangelo's with tartar sauce, French fries, and sautéed vegetables. I think हमें पहले खा लेना चाहिए थोड़ा सा.
And fish is very good for liver.
Fish is very good, yes. I think it has omega 3 in it. So please आप लें.
Thank you.
So what kind of fish do you prefer? I mean, as a doctor,
I myself actually is not a big fan of fish.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But this fish is really good.
But this fried fish is really good. Yeah, I have tried it. It's really good.
All right. Would you like some vegetables? Because I know doctors
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
And some sauce?
Okay.
अच्छा, ठीक. तो अच्छा मैं जानना चाहती हूँ थोड़ा कि जब आप बड़े हो रहे थे, when you had just completed your, I think, metric या FSC, तो आप कौन से mind frame में थे कि अच्छा अब मैंने डॉक्टर बनना है? Like I want to know.
Actually, when I did my metric, I wanted to be an engineer.
Really?
Yeah.
वो क्यों?
I don't know. At that time, this was my thought that I would be an engineer.
हाँ जी.
But my metric numbers was actually not that much that I could get admission in pre-engineering.
अच्छा.
So
Please
so I went to my local college, and in those days I think there were more trend of the people who were going to engineering side. So they have limited seats, so they did not offer me admission in pre-engineering. So on the medical side, there were slots. So I just got admission in pre-medical because the college was closer to my home. Otherwise, I have gone too far away. So that is how I think. So it was the destiny. I wanted to be an engineer, but I got admission into pre-medicine, and then I qualified for a medical college because I got very good marks in FSC, and that is how I became a doctor.
Okay, so आप अभी मतलब were your parents happy that you decided to become a doctor? Usually वो parents को होता है ना कि doctor is at the top, फिर engineering, फिर law, फिर social sciences.
Well, actually, they were okay. That whatever I want to do. Actually, my elder brother wanted me to go into army because he went Pakistan Army.
Oh.
And he pushed me hard to go into Pakistan Army. But at that time, I was not interested in army. I said I just want to pursue a career either in engineering or something like that.
अच्छा तो engineering क्यों? मतलब आपके कोई family member थे engineer या?
Well, I don't know. I think at that time I was 16 years old, so I didn't have that maturity. So it was just a thought that I want to be an engineer.
नहीं, usually वो होता है कि अच्छा मैंने I want to work on airplanes or I want to work with cars. तो फिर usually वो फिर parents कहते हैं अच्छा engineering कर लो बाद में ये कर लेना.
Well, I think I didn't belong to that privileged childhood. I lived in a village, so I didn't have much options. So I just wanted to study, and engineering was that thought at the time.
अच्छा तो आप अपना थोड़ा सा background बता सकते हैं हमें share करना पसंद करेंगे?
Yeah, so I belong to Kharia, which is a part of district Gujarat. I did my FSC from there and qualified for the medical college. I went to Allama Iqbal Medical College in Lahore. Did my MBBS from there. Oh,
it's so spicy. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's so spicy.
And after completing my medical education, I did my house job and then the surgical training here in Islamabad at Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences. And I did my fellowship in general surgery. And after completing that, I was a general surgeon. but I wanted to learn more and do some further specialization. So I decided to go to UK. I passed the fellowship examination of Royal College of Surgeons and went there. So for the first 2 years, I was doing my jobs in general surgery as a registrar. But then I realized that whatever I'm doing at the moment, I have already learned it in Pakistan. So I need to learn something different. So because eventually I wanted to come back to Pakistan, but I wanted with some sort of a skill which is either not present or it is not that common.
मतलब आपका बस यही था initially from day one आपके दिमाग में यही था कि मैंने वापस जाना है और अपने लोगों की मदद करनी है.
Yeah, I was very clear because I always wanted to come back. And obviously, if you have to come back, you have to come back with some sort of a skill set where one, you can survive at your own, and secondly, you can contribute as well
To the society.
to the society. So
Okay.
liver surgery was non-existent. So somehow I got this idea, and then I was lucky that I got into one of the best hospitals in the world and got trained there.
That's wonderful. All right, so now let's talk about liver transplant, the process itself.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the problems that are attached with liver transplantation in kids. जो बच्चे हैं जो liver transplant surgery करवाते हैं, उनके क्या problems आपको मतलब what do they face, and as a doctor how do you cope with them?
देखिए बच्चों के एग्जैक्ट फिगर्स तो हमारे पास नहीं हैं कि पाकिस्तान में कितने बच्चों को ट्रांसप्लांट की ज़रूरत है. वी डोंट हैव द लोकल डेटा, बट सिंस वी आर बेस्ड एज अ फैमिली country where there are a lot of cross marriages in the family, so a lot of liver diseases runs in the families as well. So I guess there is a huge number of children with liver diseases, and majority of these liver diseases are actually related to the cross marriages in the family.
All right.
And they run in the families as well. And then these hepatitis A and E, which we have talked about, they are also very common in children as well. So the children who has a liver damage, which eventually leads to liver failure, they need liver transplant. The exact number of children I don't know, but it is always very emotionally touching when a small child comes to you with liver failure and the family is all around them. So they definitely need liver transplant if they have a liver failure.
All right, and what about adults?
I mean, adults normally they have this liver disease going on from good few years. They are diagnosed with either one of the hepatitis, they have symptom of the liver disease, and they are going to different doctors. So there is a long track record of the liver illness which they have. And now as the time has come when either they have a liver failure or they have developed a liver cancer. So that is the time when you need a liver transplant.
All right. My next question is regarding death. As a doctor, how do you deal with death?
I mean, it is a very, very difficult situation. Actually, I face these circumstances in the post-transplant setting or the other major liver or pancreatic operations I do, because this is a very complex area. The operations are difficult, they are long hours, patients are pretty sick. And since I work in a private environment, and this kind of a facility is not available in every corner of the country. There are only few people who can offer these services in the country. So people come to me from all over Pakistan, and it costs a lot of money to them as well. So if somebody comes from a very far-flung area, they have gathered money by different sources, and then they go through a big operation, and then eventually if due to any complication that happens, it is a very, very difficult situation to actually handle. But the way I do my practice is, I think I communicate with the families right from day one. I would explain them, counsel them in detail that what kind of operation it's going to be, what are the risks, what are the benefits. All of my patients are actually well explained about the process, about the operation, its risks and benefits. So they are already prepared. But what I have realized is, before the operation, when you are explaining all these things to the patients and the families, I don't know how much they register actually. Like, for example, if I tell somebody that you have a 10% risk of death after this operation, so I tell everyone, all patients, based on their condition, I quote them a risk of death and risk of complication. But I'm never sure how much of it they are registering in their head. Because once you do the operation and then the complications happen, although majority of the people have fairly an idea what is going to happen, but still breaking the bad news of a death is difficult under the circumstances that they are coming far away. They have been given the hope that after this operation everything is going to be normalized, but at the cost of an increased risk of death and complication. It is a difficult situation, and actually that's the biggest stress I take as a liver and a transplant surgeon in my day-to-day practice.
Oh goodness. All right, so let's go back a couple of years. When you first lost your patient, आपका जो पहला patient था जो मतलब you had no control over, how did you handle that situation? Do you recall them? Do you think about them?
I mean,
was it significant for you, basically?
I think every death is significant, to be very honest, because you are so much attached to your patient, and it's not like the patient comes to you one day and the next day you do the operation and 2 days later he or she dies and then you forget about them. I think it's a big association, because they come to you, you explain them things, they go back, they think over it, and they come back, they get second and third opinion. So I have seen them few times. So you are actually emotionally attached to them. And then a lot of patients, you know their family circumstances, because a lot of family members will come, the way they have arranged the resources. So I think it's more of to be very honest, I treat every patient as if it's my own family member. I think that is what is different. And that is why the patients are very much attached to me. And the same emotions actually I feel once I lose a patient. So I remember all of my patients who died after the surgery, and I pray for them. I mean, when I go into my surgery, I pray for them that everything should go well. And if I lose someone, again I keep on praying for them.
All right. Please, आप अपने अपनी fish को भी हाथ नहीं लगाया. There's soup and crackers, mulligatawny soup and crackers. So let's talk a little bit about your growing up. बचपन आपका कैसा गुजरा? बस पढ़ाई में थे आप, मतलब completely सुबह से लेकर रात तक?
No, I used to live in my village. सुबह से दोपहर तक स्कूल, शाम को आफ्टरनून में अपने गांव के कुलीग से साथ क्रिकेट खेलना. और I think we used to close the day after Maghrib prayer. We used to get up early in the morning at the time of Fajr prayer, और Maghrib के time पे हमारा day close हो जाता था. So it was just a very simple childhood with the friends from the village. And I remember all that.
अभी भी आप आपके जो पुराने friends थे जो गांव में थे, उनके साथ आपका राब्ता है?
Yes, I do. I have few friends. Sadly, in my village, the literacy rate were very, very low. And actually, I was the first one from my village who became a doctor. Most of my childhood friends, they could not go beyond matric, So some of them are laborers, some of them has a rickshaw, but still they are friends. And whenever I go back, I sit down with them, remember old times.
चाय पीते हैं, गपशप लगाते हैं. ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. And what about your kids?
I have 3 kids, 2 sons and a daughter.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So they are very happy-go-lucky type of children. They are enjoying their life, and I am trying to counsel them that they need to work hard if they want to be successful in life. So they are listening to me, but they are not working that hard yet.
It's all right. अभी I think उनके पास time होगा थोड़ा सा. तो आपने किसी को motivate नहीं किया अपने 3 बच्चों में से कि अच्छा doctor के side, doctor बन जाओ. This is a very good field. It's a very giving field.
I mean, I do have discussions with them, and I still believe that medicine is a very solid profession across the world, and doctors actually do well all over the world. But actually, I have just guided them to do hard work in life, because I think if you do the hard work, you can achieve whatever you want to do
Hard
in
work
life.
and smart work. I
Um,
think
I-
both play hand in hand.
I'm a believer of a hard
Hard
work.
work.
I was not that smart, but I thought I achieved something because of the hard work. I think consistency is the most important thing. I have seen a lot of very intelligent, very smart people. If they're not working hard, they're not going to go far in life. For me, hard work is the key. If you are persistent, doing things with commitment, so that is what I counsel them, that you need to work hard. But they are privileged children. Their
I'm so sorry.
background.
Would you like some tea?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
अच्छा
No, thank you. I'm
मेरे
okay.
लिए एक कप ले आए. Thank you. जी चाय. अच्छा. So you are currently affiliated or attached to PKLI. Could you tell me a little bit more about this?
This is Pakistan Kidney and Liver Institute.
जी.
I think the idea was conceived maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Me and Dr. Saeed Akhtar, who is a kidney transplant surgeon, and he do a lot of philanthropic work as well. So he wanted to make a hospital where he can offer free treatment to patients with kidney diseases, and he had a background to it as well. And because we both used to work in Shifa International Hospital at that time, and we used to help each other in different patients, so that is how we were good colleagues. And Dr. Saeed was already doing this philanthropic work from last 10 years, so he wanted to make a kidney hospital, and for that he was meeting different people. So at one point in time, he met Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, who was the Chief Minister of Punjab at that time, and he shared his idea with him. And he got convinced, and he said, I would like to make arrangement for you. I can give you land, and I can make the whole hospital for you. But one, you have to do it in Lahore, and secondly, you have to include liver transplantation into as well.
All right.
So then Dr. Saeed Akhtar came back to me that he wanted liver and Lahore. So are you with me? So I said, yes, it is a great thing. We are going to get a big opportunity if we want to.
It's for a great cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause. And as an individual, both of us wanted to make a great academic center, which will be a great academic center. And secondly, it should offer free treatment as well to one who cannot afford.
All right. So आपने बात की थी कि we need to make liver transplantation surgeries more affordable.
Yeah.
So on your part, what are you doing exactly? I mean, is there charity जो आपके नाम पे है, या is there a foundation जो, for example, any person can come and donate to your charity or organization? So someone who is in need of surgery, उनको surgery की एक सहूलत मिल सके, and they are able to get what they need to get.
I mean, I myself don't have any registered charity at the moment.
जी.
But I think what you need to understand is good quality health care has a price. Someone has to pay for it. Either it's a government, it's a patient himself, the family, or an NGO. And in Pakistan, actually the health service is already very much subsidized. So no matter whether it's a simple medical care or a very complex surgical operation, there is a cost attached to it. That cost has to be paid by someone. Ideally, it's the responsibility of the state to provide free health care to its citizen. But unfortunately, in our country, state does not have that ownership. So people are at their own. Joining PKLI was a part of that commitment, that is where I can actually offer my bit of providing free service to the people of Pakistan. I mean, as a personal level, I can offer a free transplant to someone, but I cannot do that transplant anywhere. It has to have a certain decent level facility where that transplant can be done, and there is a recurrent cost to that transplant program as well. That has to be borne by government or by NGOs or the patient themselves. So eventually, I personally want something like that, great academic center which provide the highest, best possible care to patients, but there has to be a cushion for patients who cannot afford. So I think it should be a cross subsidy model where people who can pay, they should pay at a subsidized rate, and people who can contribute a little bit, they should contribute that, and the people who are extremely deserving and cannot pay at all, they should not be refused treatment. The institution need to have that cushion that whoever comes to their doorstep for a treatment, they should offer the treatment. That is my ultimate dream, to either create or be a part or associated with such an institution where I can play my role. And I think I will keep on struggling for that and striving for that.
Inshallah. Acha, as a doctor, and I want to know, do you have any aspirations of creating your own institution or hospital?
I mean, yes, I do. Not at a personal level, and not if that I want to die by leaving my legacy behind. But I think I have been so privileged. I come from a very humble background. God has been very kind, and I have pioneered liver transplantation in Pakistan. So at my personal level, I think I have already achieved a lot. Now the next level of achievement be how you contribute all that back to the society. And me being a professional and a transplant surgeon, I mean, I have a dream that there should be a great medical center in this country, which should, it's not about liver only, all
overall
the areas. We need a very highly specialized hospital in our country, which should be a great academic institution, that it not only offer the best healthcare, but it also provide a training environment for your doctors, nurses, and paramedic, and a medical education. So it should provide a great academic facility, and at the same time, it should provide free care to those who cannot afford. And I am working on it and will keep on working. I think the bigger dreams come with time. So you start a 1,000-mile journey with one step. So I have already taken that first few steps. Whether I will be able to achieve all that, I don't know. But my goal is to just keep working for it.
Inshallah, inshallah. Our prayers are with you, and we cannot wait to see more of your greatness spreading through the society. I mean, you're already doing wonders for the society, so it's a huge honor. So apart from saving lives, do you have any other hobbies?
Oh, actually, I am so much into work. I don't have any hobbies anymore. But whenever I get free time, I spend with my family, go out with my kids and friends.
So, मतलब कोई sports बच्चों के साथ अगर आप खेलते हो, cricket, football?
Yeah, I do. मेरे बच्चे जो हैं वो basketball बहुत अच्छी खेलते हैं. My son is a captain of his college team in basketball. So yes, I do play with him whenever he comes home. We go out for swimming, we go out for hiking, and that is what actually I do. I do regular exercise in the morning for about 45-50 minutes. Because you have to keep yourself fit for these long operations.
तो आपका जो longest surgery थी, how long was that? मतलब, how long is a normal surgery, and what was the longest, that you had done?
Transplant on an average takes about 7 to 8 hours. That's the average time of operation. And the longest I did was for about 24 hours, and that was my 100th transplant in Pakistan.
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that number?
24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah, because it was a difficult transplant, and it just went on and on and on. And even last night, I did a transplant which is called as double donor transplant, because the patient was 130 kilos. So one of the donor's liver, because from donor you can only take one side, you cannot take the whole liver.
Yeah.
So one of his donor's liver was not sufficient for him, so we have to use two donors. One gave the right side, the other gave the left side. So actually it was 2 transplants in one patient. So it went for about 10-11 hours, and it was really tough.
My goodness, oh my God, just okay. That is intense. That is very intense.
Yeah, it is very intense.
I tip my hat to you in awe. Anyway, बहुत मज़ा आया. I had so much fun learning from you, and feel free to follow Dr. Faisal on his website at www.faisaldar.com. It was a privilege. Thank you so much. And if you need any help in terms of understanding what liver transplant is or the problems that a person faces during surgeries, you can watch the whole episode. We've covered all of this.
Yes.
And that's about it. Thank you so much, and thank you guys.